Ricardo Kaká was like watching a footballer straight out of a dream. Graceful, fast, and deadly all in one. You knew when he had the ball at his feet, something magical was about to unfold. He wasn't just a playmaker, he was a conductor, orchestrating attacks with a style so elegant that it felt like he was gliding through the pitch. The way he combined pace, technical skill, and football intelligence was nothing short of mesmerizing. For a generation of fans, Kaká represented the beauty of the game in its purest form. Born in Brasilia and raised in São Paulo, Kaká's rise to football greatness wasn't exactly a straightforward journey. He had the kind of natural talent you can't teach, but his story took a sharp turn when he suffered a potentially career-ending spine injury at just 18. Doctors said he might never play again, but in true Kaká fashion, he defied the odds. That injury gave him a new sense of purpose, a spiritual connection that he carried with him throughout his career. His faith became a huge part of his identity, and you could see it in the way he played. There was always this sense of grace, of destiny, in how he moved across the pitch. Kaká's style of play was unique, even for a Brazilian. He wasn't your typical samba-style trickster, full of flashy stepovers and constant flair. No, Kaká's genius was in his efficiency. He was smooth, powerful, and deceptively quick. When he picked up the ball and ran at defenders, it was like watching an unstoppable force in motion. He didn't need to do 5 tricks to beat a man. One burst of acceleration and he was gone, leaving defenders in his wake. And let's talk about his finishing. His strikes from outside the box were rockets, often unstoppable, whether with his right foot or on a burst forward from deep midfield. Of course, Kaká's golden years will always be tied to his time at AC Milan. Between 2003 and 2009, he became the heartbeat of the Rossoneri. Under Carlo Ancelotti, Milan built their play around him, and Kaká didn't just thrive, he dominated. His crowning moment? The 2007 Champions League campaign, where he was simply unplayable. In that semi-final against Manchester United, he tore them apart, scoring twice in the first leg and showcasing why he was the best player in the world at that moment. Milan went on to lift the trophy, and Kaká's performances earned him the Ballon d'Or that year, beating out a certain Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. That's right, before those two took over the world, it was Kaká who sat on the throne. What set Kaká apart was that he wasn't just about individual brilliance. He was a team player, someone who made everyone around him better. His passing was pinpoint, his vision was world-class, and he had this uncanny ability to find space in the tightest situations. Whether he was linking up with the likes of Clarence Seedorf or Andrea Pirlo at Milan, or leading Brazil's attack alongside Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, Kaká always had this magnetic presence on the field. He was the guy you wanted on the ball when the pressure was on. But for all his elegance and finesse, Kaká had this relentless drive. He wasn't just cruising through games on talent alone. He worked hard, tracking back, pressing when needed, and taking on the responsibility of carrying his teams when the chips were down. His humility, despite being one of the biggest stars in the world, was another reason why fans adored him. There was no arrogance about him. He let his football do the talking, and boy, did it speak volumes. Injuries slowed him down in the latter stages of his career, particularly after his big move to Real Madrid. But even then, in flashes, you could still see that brilliance. He never quite hit the heights of his Milan days again, but by that point, his legacy was already cemented. He'd won the World Cup with Brazil in 2002, lifted the Champions League, and had a Ballon d'Or sitting on his shelf. Kaká was the last player to win the Ballon d'Or before the Messi-Ronaldo era truly began, which says a lot about just how special he was. For me, Kaká represents the perfect balance in football, a player who could do everything but did it with a style and grace that made it look effortless. His combination of speed, technique, and intelligence made him one of the most complete attacking midfielders the game has ever seen. He was never about the ego or the spotlight, just pure footballing excellence. Watching him in his prime was a privilege, and his impact on the game will be felt for generations.